This is a 1974 combo 15 horsepower head, 9.9 lower. It's the older type that does not have a Telltale for water circulation. So that's what I'm installing today. There's a website that contains a bunch of useful information, and it's called Leroy's Ramblings. And in it, he suggests in the later models, the Telltale was installed at the very bottom of this cover here. But you can't do that unless you take this cover right off, which means taking the power head off. His second option, his suggestion was to put to tap a hole top left of the cover, which works really well unless you've got electric start like I do. So instead, I believe that there is room and that a reasonable location is right at the tip of my fingernail here. So I've made a hole, or I've punched a hole where I'm gonna start to drill. I'm gonna next take the mounting screws off this block, move it upwards, take the fuel filter and pump off to make room for my drilling, which really is just taking these two screws off. I'm gonna drill beginning with what is it? Could have used more and I could have started smaller, but I am starting with, what is this? 3/16, and wow, that's a big jump. Maybe that was a bad call, but 1132. And after 1132, I'm then gonna tap. So here we go. I'm not gonna film this part, but basically I'm putting a 3/16 bit on my drill. I've already tapped a hole with my punch, and I'm going to carefully go through there. Now, I've been told the metal is about 1/8 of an inch thick. So you really have to be careful poking in there with a drill bit. Don't push hard, and when you get through, be gentle. Two screws that are out of the fuel filter. Be careful, I'm doing this on the water, which is a really dumb idea. Be careful not to lose this gasket that can come off. So I'm just gonna set this up here, tuck it in somehow here, hope that it doesn't come off. And that gives me good working space. Now I just need to remove the mounting bolts. One mounting bolt, two mounting bolts, and that should do it. With the mounting bolts off, fuel filter back here, you can move this aside, and as you see, you got loads of working room now. So let's tuck that in here, like so. Obviously don't do this with a hot engine, but there is my hole that I've punched, and this is where I'm gonna start drilling. This is really soft metal. I have spun the drill about 20 times and I'm halfway through, I think. So there it is, there's where I'm going. Let's see how this works out. 3/16 has gone through, and that's pretty good and thick actually. It's thicker than I thought it would be. This is the tap I'm gonna use after I finish drilling with my 1132, and I just wanted to double check. Yes, it does look like it's a little bit wider, so these are the right bits. All right, this better work. That's a big hole. It's making me anxious. So let's get this thing tapped and see how we do. Suggested you put a little bit of grease on here to catch any metal filaments and prevent them from falling into the exhaust housing. So I'm gonna do that next. I've just got some marine grease here. It doesn't matter what you use as long as it catches the grease. Caution here, I was told not to turn too many times. So I've turned the tap about 5 times over, 4 or 5 times. I've got a reasonable sized, it looks like the threads are nice. I'm gonna try putting in the L next. Right here, and if I had 3 hands, I'd be able to film this, but I don't. Twist the L on unless I move the regulator, so next job is to at least take one of those 2 bolts off the regulator so that I can turn the L on. Wrong, I'm going to be trying with some Teflon tape, that I'm going to be pretty liberal about it, and we'll see how that goes. Teflon tape on. I got it good and tight. It's far enough in, it's gone all the way through the material right here. Next job is to put that regulator bolt back on. Regulator bolt's back on, down here. It was a 3/8 bolt, by the way. I've got this pointing diagonally upwards. I'm now gonna put on some, Leroy suggested just putting on some, I just happen to have the same stuff he recommended, which was windshield washer, fluid reservoir, windshield wiper fluid hose from an auto, not a vehicle. So I've got that, I'm gonna pop that on there. Luckily my lower have the P-hole connector at the other end. It's a tight fit in there. You can see the hose here. It goes in behind, right between the bolt, and squeezed in between the bolt, the block, and the other hose. So now I'm going to just chop this off, connect, see how we do. And I'm connecting down into this connector down there. You can sort of see it hopefully right there. We're ready to try this.